I know people want to bitch and complain and say, oh, I'm a small streamer and I don't get any viewers. Yeah, do better.
Wow, guys. So that was a lot to take in for a second. That is a 1 minute clip of Mizkif, popular Twitch streamer. If you have not heard of him yet, you might want to go check him out and stuff. He's been through his fair share of controversies and stuff, and while this isn't really a controversy, it is something that I wanted to weigh my opinion on because he has some very, very valid points here, but I do feel like he has missed a couple of the topics that I feel like should be addressed, or a couple of the points, I should say, that I feel like are important to address for new and upcoming streamers, or just people that are trying to start out streaming for the first time on their own, that want to have a little bit of advice. And I know a lot of them like to go to their the big streamers, their favorite streamers and stuff, and just be like, how can I, do this? How can I get famous? How can I get followers? How can I get viewers? They want all the answers. Everybody wants the answers, but not everybody has the answers. And just because they're a big streamer doesn't mean they have the answers either. They can tell you methods that work, but they might not work for you. We're going to take a look real quick more at this video. So he starts off with this.
I know people want to bitch and complain and say, oh, I'm a small streamer and I don't get any viewers. Yeah, do better. I don't.
So he starts out with that. I'm a small streamer, don't get very many viewers and stuff. And he says, yeah, do better. He does have a point there. You do need to always try and do better. You can't just sit there and complain about it and, just stay where you're at. If you settle, then you'll never do better. And if you're not willing to do better, then you're just going to have to settle. But if you don't want to settle, then you're going to be in this perpetual rut of where you are constantly complaining and feeling down because you're not getting these viewers, you're not doing this. And I have plenty of room to talk about this because I currently only have I think 2K or 1.5K on Twitter, and on Twitch I only have 800, and YouTube I have 5.7K, and I average literally fractions of that per stream, per YouTube video, per tweet and stuff. My engagement and stuff is very down low. So I understand where that's coming from. As a small creator myself, I just don't have that much going for me. And it's completely understandable. I mean, it's a thing that many people struggle with, and you just have to have that knowledge to know that you need to try better, you need to do better, you need to figure out what works, what doesn't work, and you got to learn the game. The problem that I have with this is coming from somebody who knows the game too well. Because at this point in his career, and other big streamers' careers and stuff like that, they know the game so well that it's almost like they don't know the game at all. It's kind of weird how to put that, and maybe they do know the game and they just say what they know is good for PR or something like that. But I'll discuss that here further in a minute because he'll prove my point in a second.
I don't know what to tell you. Go on TikTok, make more TikToks, do more YouTube shorts, try to grow outside of the platform. Because if it hasn't been obvious for the past 6 years now, you're not growing on Twitch anymore. That's not how it works. You have to find discoverability through other places. But people like to complain a lot and say that it's Twitch's fault. It's not Twitch's fault. It's your fault. Do a better job.
Okay. So he's going to double down on this here in a second. He is right. You do need to start marketing yourself on other platforms, building a brand on other platforms. Branch out to YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts right now are killing it and are a great source of exposure. However, I do think the conversion rate from shorts to subscribers is a lot lower than it would be for a video, unless you're just making some really good content and stuff. So you just have to make sure your content is the best, which kind of goes back to the whole do better kind of thing. But I'll talk about that in a second as well. But TikTok is another good one. It's kind of weird right now with all the drama that folds around TikTok and banning and all this kind of stuff. But he is right about this. You do need to branch out to other social media platforms to build your brand and try and just get discovered. Twitch has terrible discoverability. It doesn't matter what you're doing, your chances of being discovered are non-zero, but they might as well be zero. So that is something that every small streamer has to deal with. And he says right here that it's not Twitch's fault. it kind of is Twitch's fault because they don't cater to small streamers. They don't. No matter what they say, they don't really care about the small streamers that much because that's not who's making them money. And this is coming from somebody who streams on Twitch. You know, I stream on Twitch, and I know for a fact I don't get discovered, and I know that they don't really care that I don't get discovered because I'm not making any income for them. Like, the money that I bring into them is literally non-zero. I mean, it's that low, if any at all. So it is kind of Twitch's fault for their discoverability aspect, but it is not Twitch's fault that you're not out there branching yourself like further and trying to bring a following into Twitch. But I will say that depending on what platform that you are on, such as YouTube Shorts or TikTok or whatever, it is kind of hard sometimes to have that conversion rate for them to switch platforms completely. And then they also have other things that would conflict with that kind of follow or commitment to a follow as well. And he's actually going to talk about it here in just a second, which is the contradiction that I was going to talk about, because he contradicts himself here in a second. Kind of. It's not an exact contradiction, but it kind of contradicts him.
Twitch streamers relying on YouTube or TikTok to gain a following is absolutely ludicrous.
That's wrong. It's not ludicrous to rely on that. But you do need to try and do more than just TikTok and YouTube. So the way it comes down to it is, I'll get into it in a second.
No, it's not. How is it ludicrous in the slightest that someone's trying to go on and works on TikTok and YouTube?
It's not.
Of course you're going to. What the fuck? What else would it be? You think that Twitch should just... How the fuck would Twitch, for thousands of small creators every day, push the smaller creators? And people...
Same way that they push the larger creators. They just make a tab for it. You literally can go to Twitch's home screen right now, and right here on the side of the screen, it's going to have all the channels that you follow, plus a recommended channels based off of the ones that you do follow and that you viewed, and it'll have the recommended right there. And all of these recommended are usually either big time streamers or pretty medium sized streamers and stuff. Keep in mind, guys, to be in the top 3% of Twitch streamers, you have to have an average of 11 viewers. Like at any given point of your day, like an average of 11 viewers, and you're in the top 3%. To be in the top 1%, you usually have to be a partner, which is like 75 viewers or above, or maybe even 100 viewers or above. So those are usually the ones that you're going to be recommended, is the 100 and above viewers, streamers. And even furthering that point, most of the time it's going to be the 1K plus viewers, or the hundreds plus viewers. And then right here at the top center screen of the website is going to be the multiple different streams that are currently being featured on their rotating algorithm that they have right here, that they recommend as well. And then underneath that, they're going to have live channels you follow, I'm pretty sure, plus some more recommended channels, plus some featured channels. They have all these different tabs for different streams and stuff that they're like featuring and advertising and stuff, but none of them are small channels. Whereas Kick, not getting into the Kick versus Twitch debate, but on Kick, I did notice that they had a upcoming streamer platform or a small streamer upcoming streamer or a small streamer tab that just had small streams with only like 1 to 5 viewers. And so you could literally go through and just sort through those and just pick one that you wanted. There are ways that Twitch could advertise and push out smaller content creators, but they're not worried about that because they're not the ones that are making them money.
People don't want to watch smaller creators. Most people want to watch the bigger streamers, and they want to watch people that already have a community. And I want to watch a lot of people that understand and already have, experience and they're professionals at Twitch. Like TikTok, I know people want to bitch and...
So what he just said right there is his contradiction to this entire argument. So his entire argument here, or the entire thing that he's talking about, is that people are asking, how do they grow on Twitch? They're not growing anymore, all that kind of stuff. And he's telling you to branch out because, you're not growing on Twitch, and it's been like that for the last 6 years. You're not going to grow on Twitch. That's not how it works. You need to branch out, build an audience elsewhere, all that kind of stuff. But then he goes back and contradicts himself and says that nobody wants to watch small streamers, which is true. There's not very many people out there that actually care to watch small streamers. So again, that means your chances of discoverability are literally non-zero. But it's just a self-contradiction to his entire argument, because his whole point of this is that you can grow, you just can't do it on Twitch. You need to go somewhere else, and that it's not, as he said in this, it's not ludicrous for, you know, content creators to go to YouTube and Twitch to try and grow their audience. And he's not wrong. It's not ludicrous. But he contradicted himself because he admitted nobody wants to watch small streamers. How can you not be a small streamer if nobody wants to watch a small streamer? You can't grow from a small streamer to a big streamer if nobody wants to watch the small streamers. And that's the contradiction that he made in this whole argument. And I felt like that's something important that should be addressed, because he's not wrong. He's not entirely wrong. There's a very few amount of people that are willing to watch small streamers. So if you are a small streamer, your chances of being watched and discovered by others is very, very low. But going back to a couple points that I think need to be addressed in his whole response here is that, for starters, he doesn't address how biased the algorithm is, even though I slightly touched up on that subject. With Twitch, specifically, it caters only to the big streamers, only to the big popular streamers, 97% of the time, and the other 3% of the time they're also catering to them. They just don't show it. So they're always featuring bigger streamers. They're always showing recommended bigger streamers. And on the main content page, they're always showing bigger streamers. And even when you click on tabs to browse to them, they immediately sort it by recommended or high to low. They never sort it the other way around, because they know people don't care about seeing the people with less viewers. They want to see the people with the most viewers. So automatically it's being catered to the more popular streamers. And this goes for other websites as well. If you already have an established community on both YouTube and Twitch, or not Twitch, TikTok, if you already have an established community that you can bring over to those, or that you've started on those, then you're more likely to be discovered than somebody who is just starting out. I would challenge any YouTuber and Twitch streamer out there. Now, more Twitch streaming, to be honest with you. YouTubing, it's a little bit easier if you know what you're doing. For instance, if you are a YouTube content creator, it's a little bit easier. Ludwig kind of proved that point in one of his videos of about a year ago almost, where he created a brand new channel, made one video with a script, and managed to grow that channel into like 180,000 subscribers. But he grew it to 1,000 subscribers first, but he got like 20K views on the first video that he uploaded, all because he donated $50 to Mizkif and sent him the link to tell him to watch it, and Mizkif actually clicked on it, which is a marketing strategy, which is something that I was going to talk about here in a second. So it's easier on YouTube because all you have to do is know how the algorithm works. Problem is that when you're first starting out, you don't know how the algorithm works, so it's a little bit of an unfair advantage. However, Ludwig knew how the algorithm worked, and he was able to fork out some money to hire an editor and a voiceover, because he couldn't use his own voice, and a thumbnail artist. Well, he made the thumbnail himself, actually. So the editor and the voiceover artist. So he did all of that with some money, and it cost him about $700. And not everybody can do that to hire like a professional, editor and stuff like that. So there's a little bit of a difference there, because a good editing means a good video, means more shares, more engagement, more viewer retention, and all of that is very important, because it also gets you more likes, which helps put you on the algorithm even further and land you on trending. So these are things that most people already know, but that's that. So the next point that I wanted to make, though, is my next challenge is I would challenge any streamer to hire someone to start a brand new stream from scratch, brand new stream account from scratch, and get them to grow it without spending any money. The way I would do the challenge is they would have to spend only money that they earn through the stream. That's how I would do it, and see how long it takes them to grow that channel to the first 1,000 followers. because it'll be very difficult. It'll be so difficult. So difficult. It has to be somebody that the streamers like can hire to do it. It can be a random person, it can be whoever, but I want them to hire them. Let them stream on a mid-tier PC, not a high-tier PC. A mid-tier PC with a mid-tier setup, mid-tier camera, all that kind of stuff. Like streaming on something like my setup. My setup is very mid-tier. Like nothing about my setup is very special, and I feel like just about anybody can get my current setup for under $3,000 for sure. So, I mean, my setup is very, very easy to get. So I challenge any streamer to hire somebody to start streaming on a mid-tier setup similar to mine and try and grow a following. I do. Because you need one of two things to be successful as a streamer / content creator. One is an incredibly good personality. If you lack personality and you're boring, nobody's going to want to watch you, first of all. You're also going to have hard times networking with others, because networking is a very important skill that everybody should learn in business. It helps you grow. It helps you reach out to other people. You can get collabs. There's a bunch of stuff that you can do with networking. So having a good personality helps with all of that. And if you don't have a good personality, you're going to struggle. The second thing is money. Money is a key factor in a lot of things. And a lot of people are like, oh, I don't have money. You don't have to have the money. You can have a great personality and you'll make it just fine. But if you have the money, you can skip the personality. Now, it won't be as good in the long run, but it's still possible. For instance, with Ludwig, he was able to pay for an editor. He was able to pay for a voiceover, even though that one doesn't really matter. But he paid for an editor, and he paid $50 to Mizkif in hopes for him to click on it, which gave him marketing. So if you have enough money to market yourself better, then you're going to instantly get way more engagement, way more views, way more exposure, and that can turn your conversion rate higher based off of the sample size. So having money is very helpful, which is why, back to my challenge as a streamer, I would challenge them to only be able to use money that they made from streaming, because giving this to someone like Mizkif, who has millions at his disposal, basically, because he is a millionaire, it would be an unfair advantage, because all he would have to do is, he hires somebody to go do the streaming, and then on their first stream they do like $100 giveaway or $1,000 giveaway or something like that, and then all of a sudden they have 500 followers within the first hour of their stream. Like, you can do stuff like that and get followers instantly. I built most of my following through giveaways, but the problem with it is that most of them don't retain the attention of them, because they're only here for the giveaways. Most of them. There are a few people out there, and I love you guys so much, who do stick around for my content and stuff. I love you guys, appreciate you, and I hope to see you around in the next streams and the next videos and stuff. But these are just some of the points that I wanted to point out about, or talk about and stuff. So he's not wrong. You do need to branch out and do more, but Twitch is slightly at fault. It's not their fault that you're not doing good. It's their fault that they're not doing more for smaller creators, but they're only doing it that way because smaller creators don't earn them money as much. And it is, as Mizkif said, nobody wants to watch small creators, so the entire process is an uphill battle to begin with. And you will learn that you either need to have an incredibly insane personality that just attracts people to you, or you need to pick up a skill or something that's very unique that you can do that's different from everybody else, because that's another issue that we have in the streaming world. Everybody wants to be a streamer, which means that we're ultimately going to run into a lot of copycats. And when you have a lot of copycats, it is very hard to stand out in the crowd of just faces. And that's just the gist of it. So you need to learn where your faults are, work on improving them, and rise to the challenge to try and just surpass it. Like, I want to do better for YouTube. I get no views per video. Nobody ever actually sees my content majority of the time. It's just there's not much that goes on here. But I want to get better. I want to put more effort into it, and I know that I can. It's just that commitment to do so. Just like streaming, I want to get better for streaming. I want to get better for, all my social media platforms. I haven't been uploading shorts to TikTok anymore. I don't post anything to Instagram anymore. Like there's all this stuff that I need to start doing that I don't do. So I want to start doing better at that, and I know I can do better. And this is just the same kind of mindset everybody else has to have. You need to know that you can do better, and you need to do better. You can't just say, I can do better. You have to do better. And I'm going to start doing that because honestly, I've been getting a lot of motivation recently about doing better. And I really do want to do better, guys. So hopefully that's what I'll do. I'm hoping that I will do better, in the future. And hopefully this video does well as too. I mostly made this video because I saw this on Twitter, of course, the original thing, and I made a comment on it saying that I feel like he missed a few points, and then somebody had asked what points they were, and I had originally typed it all out, but it was so long, I felt like it was just too much to read, so I told them I would make a video on it explaining how I felt about the situation, and I'd link it to them so that way they could listen to it instead of reading it, but I still ended up making the video 20 minutes long, but honestly, it's not terrible for how long I could have went on talking about this. But sorry for the rambling. Love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.